13 years ago today, 19 terrorists from the Islamic group Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 commercial airplanes. 2 were flown into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center, 1 into the Pentagon. The 3rd crashed in a field in Pennsylvania as a result of a courageous counterattack by the crew and the passengers. We know why we are here today. We remember that day. We remember the tragic losses that all of us suffered as a community, as a family, and as a country. In that sliver of time, our world was changed forever. And we also remember the heroism of those who rushed in, and of those who gave all they had and did all they could do in the face of the unimaginable. My name is Amy Heiser, and I'm the chairwoman of the Muskegon Museum of Art Foundation. It's a privilege to welcome you today to the opening of Remember and Rebuild.
Left the meeting a little early and saw something on TV that was noisy and agitated. And the first plane had already hit the building. And when I walked closer and saw that, I realized, I knew instinctively what it was. I didn't think it was an accident by any means. I just definitely felt that was on purpose.
And in fact, we were listening to the radio on the way home from the restaurant, and that's when the towers started going down. And I told my wife, I can't believe those towers would go down, regardless of how they got hit.
I was a 9th grader in high school when JFK was shot. And it had a real similar experience of people coming out and crying, and even in this small school very far away from New York, the sense of, I remember panic and what does it mean? Why would this happen?
And we had to stop like at Target, something like that, and get a bathrobe for my father. And we go into Target, and it was so eerie quiet in that store. It's just like everything shut down.
We went around to the other side of our building. Our headquarters building was a roughly 42 floor tower building, and we saw from the windows that indeed there was a gaping hole in the side of the north tower.
And I remember thinking, my God, I can't believe people have actually, the alternative staying was to burn alive, and they chose to jump. And it was, I just felt really terrible for their families.
You know, we're talking, a bunch of people are coming down, and we watch the TV, and we see the second plane hit, you know, like on live TV. And all of us just kind of like, I think we're all dumbfounded by what had just happened. You know, all of us in our early 20s at the time. I was 21 only, and thinking like, did that just happen?
Once it hit the south tower, I remember people starting to cry, people screaming. Everyone knew that it was a planned attack, that these were not accidents. And that's when things got very intense.
We've kind of turned the tragedy into remembrance and rebuilding and a tribute to those people.
Photographs are really powerful because they include the visible artifacts of our lives. And a lot of times those are faces, those are landmarks, those are things that we're familiar with. And they rearrange the things that we see every day and use them to tell a story.
We have a relationship with the staff photographer. One of our staff members is actually related to the staff photographer of the National Memorial and Museum.
I came back with, I had said, oh, just make me some color Xeroxes of some of these. And I brought them back here. And then I thought, well, just for the heck of it, why don't I look and see, because we always have our openings on Thursday evenings. when does September 11th happen to land in 2014? Thursday. And I said, I think there's something to this.
Amy's function is to document what's happening on that site, and she's been working there since 2006, I think. But it was Jane Connell, our curator, who saw the quality of the photography and recognized the story that it could tell.
New York is her home. She was there on the day that this happened. So she literally was there on the day of the tragedy all the way through when this happened until it was finally built back up. And she expressed that through her photos, which you can see are just amazing.
I think it's wonderful to have this gal who, you know, works there at Ground Zero and is part of this memorial, and to bring it to us.
One of our goals with this exhibition is to try to highlight how, as a culture, we pay honor and tribute to people who've sacrificed themselves for the greater good.
The exhibition was great. It was very impressive.
It's a fabulous, fabulous memorial.
This exhibit gave me a sense of what it was, you know, because some of the pieces that they have in there, it puts it right in front of you.
So it's trying to tell this story of this art exhibit, but more importantly what it stands for, which is rebuilding from 9/11.
People who came from all over the world to just help, they wanted to be a part of this. They wanted to help make this something that was so horrible into something good.
Well, remember and rebuild is a theme that I think every community has to look to, because as we evolve as a community, a town, a country, a state, whatever, we need to look back and see where we've been and what pieces and what things we have to move forward.
I think we will not be surprised by some of the memories in that they will be part of a greater picture, I think, again, of a culture. On the other hand, it will be very personal because it will be us, it will be Muskegon.
You know, obviously Muskegon doesn't have any direct ties to 9/11, but she felt that the fact that Muskegon has had to almost reinvent itself and rebuild itself in terms of, you know, the way it looks at itself economically and the way that its economy has gone, and it's sort of almost had to rebuild itself.
We're trying to envision and rebuild on the good things we have.
I'm very proud of how we are rebuilding.
I think that they're starting to make people get the connection, you know, by having the museum and showing, you know, these great big huge fire trucks being crushed in the devastation, and having all of those people's names around and being able to go up to them, just like with the Vietnam Wall, you go up and you see the names, you see the numbers, because at the anniversary when they ring the bell every time, you think, okay, 3,000 or whatever, but to see all of that in print, that has more of an